Okay, as promised, here is a review of the review. This is test 3 review, and we did it Monday. So it's going to be in 3 parts. I'm going to do the variance first, and then I'm going to do the budgeted financial statements second, and then finally I will do the departmental allocation. So let's get started. Variance. Okay, I kind of rearranged this for you, so I'm hoping it helped a little bit. So here's your actual cost, here's your standard cost. Standard costs go here, actual costs go here. So if my material is 15,000 and I use 3 pounds, that should work out to 15,000 times 3, and that goes up here, because this is the materials one. So what we're trying to do is figure out what the variance is. Were we above or were we below? According to this, the variance was in a negative, which meant well, we'll have to see what it meant. How's that? So here's our actual. This is what the actual price was. Let's see what the standard should have been. And here's what you come up with. You take that 14,500 and multiply it times the 275, and you come up with 39,857. So what does that mean? Okay, this is the actual. This is what we really spent. This is what we should have spent. So obviously this is an unfavorable overall. If I look at this and just say, oh, well, I spent $5,125 too much, the next question would be why? How do I fix that? Well, when I look at the materials, I see I used $500 or 500 units more than I should have, pounds, whatever it is in. But then when I look at the cost, the actual price, I spent more. So which had the biggest bearing on it? So the way to figure that out is to, first of all, fill out the standard. So if I take 14,500 times 275, I come up with this. And this is my unfavorable variance. But now I can tell how much went each way. So here's my actual quantity, and I'm going to apply the standard cost to it. So if I had used the actual cost, I would have had 41,000. It would have cost 41,250. Still above, right? Still above, but not as much above when I compare it to the price here. So in this whole situation, I paid more and my variance was higher on this side. If I had paid the standard price, I would have only had an unfavorable variance of $1,375. Okay, now, so that's on the materials side. What about the labor? So the labor's right here. Labor was 5,200. This is what we actually did, times 950, and that comes up to 49,400. How about over here on this side? So I take 5,000 times $12, and it should have been 60,000. That's pretty cool, and they only spent 49,400. So again, you're going to look and see what the major issue was, or the major cause of this. So if I plug in this number on this side, actual hours times 950, I end up with 49,400, which is what I have here. If I do the standard, I'm going to compare that. That's 5,000 times 12, that's 60,000. Okay, obviously I have a favorable variance of 10,500, which is really good when I compare this. Why? Okay, what was important here? So let's look. I used 5,200 hours. I should have used 5,000. My standard cost was $12, but I only paid $9.50. That's big, right? So if I had used the 5,200 times the $12 standard hours, I actually would have had a variance that I spent more than I should have. And that gives me an unfavorable variance when comparing the hours, that I use more hours. But since I paid less when I compare on this side, I find that I have a $13,000 favorable variance. When you net the two, I come out $10,600 on top. Now, if I compare these two for this particular product and these expenses, I still come out on top, because if you net the labor and the materials, you'll find out you have still a favorable variance overall for the entire product of $5,400.75. But you don't know why until you break it down in these variances, and that's why we do those. So I hope that helps a little bit, and I'm going to stop this one, and then we'll go on to the budgets. So this goes here, this goes here. You bring in the actual quantity here and the actual standard price here to come up with comparison across, and then you net them all. Make sense?